Hey, are you a fix and flipper? Are you looking to flip your first home? Are you unsure what a GC, permits, all those things are? Well, stay tuned because this is the episode for you. Hey, this is Brandon with REsimpli. I want to welcome you back to our YouTube channel. And today I want to talk about contractors and flipping. Whether you're new or this is your first flip, here's some tips for you that are going to help you understand how to hire a general contractor. Do you need a general contractor? And what exactly is a general contractor? You hear all the time where people say, hey, my GC or my general contractor does the entire job. Well, do you actually know what a general contractor is? So, a general contractor is somebody who has gone to school and has practiced in the profession of construction that can go and pull all of the permits necessary to do a renovation. Now, general contractors will have a level at which they can do. Sometimes you'll just have a generalized general contractor. Sometimes you'll have some commercial grade general contractors, and then you can also have builder grade. So your kind of generalized GC is there to just do your basic remodels. Your builder is actually going to be able to take something from a raw piece of dirt and build a brand new infrastructure on it. And then your commercial general contractor is there to do commercial work, apartments, office buildings, strips, things like that. So that's what a GC is. They're there to allow you to do everything by the book, by code, pull all the permits, so you can get all of the necessary inspections and check-throughs and everything that you need so that when you go to sell your house, you shouldn't have too many things to worry about. So what are reasons and what are times that you would need a general contractor? Generally, you're going to want one if you are using subs, a subcontractor that maybe are not licensed. So that's going to be your plumbing, your HVAC, your electrician, your roofer, and then sometimes they'll need some miscellaneous permits as well, but those are your big four that you need. So a general contractor can have an umbrella where he takes responsibility for everything, and he can hire his own crew to do these things. But how I like to run our construction business is generally all of our subs are licensed, so they can go pull all of their individualized permits. Now, you think, oh great, I'm going to pull a permit for every job, have every inspection, everything go great. The one downfall to potentially pulling your permits is that it can make the process much, much slower. And then also, if you run into a city inspector who wants to give you a hard time, that can also cause some problems. I've been there, I've had projects delayed months because an inspector was just really difficult to work with. So in general, the rule of thumb for permits is if you are doing something brand new that is not already existing. So for an example, if you have an older bathtub and all you're going to do is take the tub out and the surround out, but you're going to leave the plumbing and just maybe put a new faucet over it, some municipalities, some cities technically don't require you to pull a permit to do those things because you're doing it, all you're doing is remodeling it, all you're doing is replacing it, you're not remodeling it. That is one thing to pay attention to, is to understand what your city and county requires when it comes to pulling permits. So your general contractor is going to be the person that allows you to do all of these things. Now, if you do a job that is just new flooring, new countertops, paint, you generally do not have to pull a permit in most cities and most municipalities. You can just hire a painter, paint the house, hire a flooring person, do the flooring, hire a stone, granite, template person, have them do that. So depending on the level of renovation, it determines whether you need your permits or not. Now, when you're out vetting your general contractor, because it's this sexy, fun thing to say, hey, my GC's doing the entire job, you want to see what kind of work they've done. I like to ask for previous jobs, kind of go walk one of the jobs, kind of talk to some of your clients and see how you've done. Because the things that I want to pay attention to with a GC is, do they have the ability to stick to a budget within reason? So I generally give them 10% leeway on the budget that they present to me on a scope that I give them. And then you want to pay attention to time frame. So a general rule of thumb for renovation time frames is $1,000 a day for every working day. And so I like to look at mine and think of it that you have 5 work days, even though a lot of our good subs and GCs work 6 days, sometimes 7 days a week. I like to look at it as the working days, Monday through Friday. So a $30,000 renovation should take 30 business days, which would be 6 weeks. And so when I set my budget and my scope and I sign my contract with my general contractor, then I'm going to set it up to where these are the things that I want done, and this is how long that I want to do it. Once you've done that and you've vetted your general contractor, make sure that you go through an itemized, detailed list of everything that you want done on your house. And so what's cool, REsimpli, once you have the property in your inventory, you can actually go to scope of work and build out the scope of work that you want for your house. Put everything. How many doors are you replacing? How many doors are you keeping? Are you putting new LVP throughout? New windows? New roof? Are you putting white stone? Are you putting granite? Who's paying for what? And all of these things you can put in detail. Because what ends up happening is they'll be like, I can do everything for this. And you don't write it down. And then all of a sudden, 4 months into it or 3 months into it, they realize, we have some change orders, which a change order is a change in the scope of work. And then they start charging you more money. Where if you can go back to your scope of work that you have typed out that both of you signed, then there's no such thing as a change order. And so what we do for our flips is we go into REsimpli, we put all the information in, we generally buy our materials and we just pay labor. So that's stated on our scope of work, and we type everything out from demo, framing, plumbing, electrical, roof, flooring, paint, any sheetrock, any exterior landscape. Literally anything that we can do. And then we put as many pictures in the scope of work as possible. And then we print out that scope of work. And what's cool is it has a spot for both of you to sign at the bottom. Once I've done that, I load it in a dot loop, I send it to my contractor, and then I sign it. We both have copies of it, and then I hang it up in the house. So if there's ever a question, it's always accessible for them to see. Once you have all that laid out and you have your scope of work, your time frame, and your budget from this GC that you have vetted, next thing you want to do is talk about what a draw schedule looks like. One of the biggest things that you hear from people is, hey, I paid my contractor so much money and they're gone. The key to a good contractor and why I like buying materials is because I don't want to have too much money out front. And so generally how I'll do my draw schedules is, and we'll just use easy numbers for today. Let's say we have a $30,000 renovation. I take 10% and I put it away. And in my contract, I state that 10% of this is going to be held until all inspections are completed. Because if I'm selling it and an inspector pops me on stuff and they don't come back and do it, then I have to pay somebody else to do the job. You can hire a third-party inspector if you want to do that after the job's over, if they don't want to wait 30, 60 days, for your house to sell, which I'm okay with as well, depending on, how much I've worked with them. And then from there, so now we have $27,000. So then I give them a demo number and I say, once you've completed demo, I'll write you an arbitrary number. So I usually will do like $4,000 or $5,000 after demo. And so what that does is it puts them a little bit ahead, as I'll say. They have a little bit more money than my demo's gonna cost, but then it gives them a little bit of runway for them to continue to work. And then so now we have $22,000, and then I'll divide that $22,000 up in 3 or 4 separate draws. And then each draw is based on a phase. And so once they get through like the rough-in, so roughing in electrical, plumbing, and stuff like that, they'll get a draw. Once they get through the entire trim out, cabinets, doors, baseboards, those kind of things, then they'll get a draw. And then once they're done with the final piece, then they'll get another draw if I do 3. And so you guys divide that out and make it very, very clear. And when they put in for the invoice, if all of it is not done, do not cut them a check. Contractors will always chase the next check. And so make them push and push and push and have a deadline for all of these things. And so when it comes to fix and flip, those are some of the most important things that it comes to when hiring a GC. But remember, you don't always have to have one. At our company, we run our project manager, and then we have a GC that we use for some projects. And then for other projects, my project manager runs them all himself with separate subs. So if you're new to flipping or you're looking to flip your first home, don't freak out if you don't have a general contractor. Don't freak out if you can't find a general contractor. There are other ways around it. If you get lucky and you find a good general contractor that can pull permits, hits budgets, and hits timeline, treat them well, because they will make your business so much easier. So if you got some value out of this, I'd appreciate it. Hit the like button, drop some comments below. Have you flipped homes before? Have you hired GCs? Ask some questions. I'd love to respond and make some more videos for you guys. So appreciate it. Smash the subscribe button and see you on the next video.